Filipino youth in 2012, the more things change, the more they remain the same. So this is how I'm going to present it. You can read, right? Yes, great. At least we're on the same page on that one. Again. Basically, I'm just going to give you the heart. Sir Tony presented the heart of the situation. Not just for the young people, but for the whole Philippines. What I'm going to do is to give you the numbers. Why? Because when you talk about situations, when you talk about programs for change, you have to have numbers. Like he mentioned, 70 houses, 250 houses, 100 million, 300 million. You have to have numbers because numbers give you a vision of how things are. So have things change? Mali. Ano ba ito?
Para sa atin, pareha lang ang 36 pesos. Pero para sa 26 na milyong Pilipino, ito lang ang panggastos nila sa isang araw. 36 pesos para sa pagkain, pamasahe, upa, gamot at iba pa. Hindi sapat ang 36 pesos para mabuhay ng marangal. Dapat dagdagan ng gobyerno ang budget para sa social services. Sa October 16, tumindig tayo laban sa kahirapan.
I did that. Do you remember that? Not one of you saw it. Sorry, nagpaana ako. Ha? Oo. Belated happy birthday. I coordinated that video when I was still part of the youth. And that was 2005. So they were referring to what we call a poverty threshold. Do you know what a poverty threshold is? Anyway, a poverty threshold, they say, is for 46 pesos, a person can exist with 46 pesos for food and non-food items. Angel Aquino presented that, di ba? Pambili siya ng pagkain, pamasahe. Lahat ng naiisip mo na kailangan ng isang tao para mabuhay ng marangal, yun. Kaya niyo bang mabuhay ng 46 pesos sa isang araw? Kasi nung time na yun, that was 2005, it was 36. Ngayon, 2012, ang poverty threshold ay 46. So, tinaasan na nila ng... So, yung inflation rate, yung taas ng pamasahe, 2005 to 2012, ilang taon yun? 7 years. So, yung 7 years, 10 piso lang yung diferensya nun. Will you be able to exist? When you say poverty threshold, mahirap ka lang kapag yung pera mo sa bulsa ay 46 pababa. Actually, pag 46 pa, hindi ka pa mahirap. Okay ka pa eh. Kasi yun yung threshold eh. Parang, di ba, yun yung upper limit. So, mahirap ka lang pag ang pera mo sa bulsa ay 46, ay 45, 50, 45.99. Sino may 45 pesos dito? Wala kayong pera lahat. I'm glad we're on the same page. Ayan. So, isipin mo, 46, sinubukan ko siya noong 2005, 36 pesos. Yung pamasahe nun, parang mga 650 na eh. Nakatira ako sa Quezon City, 650 na yon. Tapos pumunta lang ako mula sa bahay ko sa UP Diliman, papunta sa isang urban poor community sa tapat ng Philippine Science High School sa Agham Road. So, nag-jeep ako. Tapos kasama ko yung mga kaibigan natin sa Mix. Sige, subukan natin. Kaya yung bang mabuhay? Di pa masahe, 7 pesos. Pagdating doon, tanghalian na. Pero bago yun, nauuhaw muna ako. Bumili ako ng pisong ice tubig. So, 7 plus 1. In essence, 3 o'clock pa lang, ubus na yung 36 pesos ko. 3 o'clock pa lang. Tapos ang kinain ko noon, nakabili naman ako ng matinong pagkain. Nakabili ako ng kalahating munggo for 7 pesos. Tapos nakabili ako ng kalahating kanin for 5. Tapos bumili ako ng isang ice tubig. So, okay ka. Pero kung sabi ko, kung pati bahay, saan ako uuwi nito? So, sinubukan ko ulit siya nung 2010. Sumama naman ako dun sa mga nagkakariton. Ang tawag natin dyan yung mga urban gypsies. Pero hindi social kasi mahirap mabuhay sa kalsada. So, sinubukan kong tumira kasama nila. 46 pesos. Hindi rin kasya. Kasi natutulog kami sa ilalim. Umuulan nun. So, nagsisilo. kami dun sa trapal, yung mga tinatapon. Tapos nabubuhay sila, sumama lang ako ng mga 2 days. Tapos na hirap na ako kasi yung tubig, babayaran mo yung panglinis eh. Yung isang tabo, piso din siya. So pag mag-iigib kami para mag-wash, yung balde, 5 piso, 5 to 10 pesos. Depende pa kung saan mo siya kukunin. Pag kukunin mo siya sa gripo, mas mahal. Pag kukunin mo siya sa poso, mas mura. Medyo maarte ako kasi pinili ko. So naubos din yung pera ko. In essence, matapos yung isang araw, wala na akong pera. Natulog kami doon, kumakalam yung sikmura ko. So sabi ko, paano ba yung masabi na mahirap ka? Pera ba pag-uusapan dyan? Pera-pera lang ba yan? Eh kung kaya mo naman pala mabuhay ng 41 pesos sa isang araw, kumakain ka, okay na ba yun? Noon at ngayon, we're talking about numbers, we're talking about young people, so why should poverty matter to you? To me, to all of us, we're okay. You have your cell phones, you have more than 46 pesos in your pockets. Magkano ang load nyo ngayon? Kumukuha kayo ng AllNet 25? Kasi 50 free calls sa Globe, at 10-minute free calls sa all networks, unlimited text. Yun kasi ang pag-load. So, may text ka na text. Of course. Naka-plan ako eh. AllNet 25. Diba? Pag-usapan natin. So, ginawa ko siya 2005, diba? Pag-usapan natin. Bigyan natin 10 taon. 10 years. Gaano kadami kaya tayo ngayon? Pag sinasabi mong mahihirap, pag sinasabi mong populasyon, ano ba yan? Pag tinanan natin lahat, including all of us, kasi meron tayong 62, may 72, diba? Iba-ibang age range natin dito. Noong 2000, 76 million lang tayo. Pagdating ng 2010, wapak! 92 na. Pag yung estimation ngayon, estimated to ngayon, 96. Meron pang minsan nagsasabi pa ng statements ang official agencies na mga 100 na daw tayo. 100, imagine mo 100 million. Isang million na, hindi pa ako makahawak eh. 100 million na tao, parang, huwag na natin pag-usapan yung China, okay? Kung gano'n sila kadami. 0 to 9, ito yung mga pamangkin nyo. Sino dito may anak na? Ay umamin. Ako meron. I have a 9-year-old daughter. So, pasok siya dyan. Noong 2000, hindi pa siya pasok kasi hindi pa siya pinapanganak. So, noong 2000, 19 million sila. So, isipin nyo, dun sa 76 million, 19 million doon, mga around, how do you put that? Around 1/4 are 0 to 9 years old. Noong 92, noong 2010, medyo umangat sila. It's a little above. It's a little above, 25, parang 20%. So, parang maging 25% na din siya. Yung 10 to 19, ito yung adolescents. Ilan sa inyo yung below 19? Taas nga kamay. Para magkaka-age lang tayo. Sige. Yung age na yan, ang tawag dyan yung adolescents. Alam niyo ba yan? Yung pinaka-windang na age. Pagkatapos yung 30s na. 30 to 40s, mas windang din yun. So yung adolescent stage, yan din yung parang everything is spurting. Yun talaga yung term ko. Lahat talaga ng pwedeng maramdaman. Para kang, I'm not promoting vices, pero para kang sobrang high, everything is heightened. You want to change the world. Everything is possible. Kahit sabihin, papagalitan ka na ng nanay mo, pag uwi mo pa lang, alam mo, papagalitan mo, sakit ka na. Alam mo kasi na kaya mong baguhin lahat. That's the best age. It's so exciting because you can be whoever you want to be. That was the age when I decided that I wanted our professor, although naging teacher ko si Margarita Holmes no time na yun, I wanted her to call me ma'am. I can be whoever I want to be, and that is the age, 10 to 19. So that's such a volatile stage, and it comprises, and it steadily grew. Mukha lang yan konti, pero yung mga bata na yan, noong 2000, sila na yung adolescent ngayon. Di ba yung 0 nung pinangang 2000, 10 na sila, nakakatawa yung mga tuwa. Matawa ka, sorry. Natutuwa ko eh. Natatawa din ako pag nakikita ko yung pictures. Shucks! Hindi lang pala yan. Oh, 15 to 30. Yun na. Sino nasa 15 to 30? Taas kamay. Ganito lang yan. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Pag 30. Karami, I think all of us, sige, hindi ba kayo proud? 15 to 30! Hindi ako kasali doon. you. 15 to 30. 21 million. That's right, how many? That's like a 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4. This is how it grew. It doesn't look like it grew that much because it's still 1 out of 4, but it grew in number. So that's like around 5 million people more. So if you ask me, why should poverty matter to young people? Youth comprise 1 out of 3 of the population. And young people are part of the 14 marginalized sectors that the government identified. Do you know that young people are separate from children? Kaya swerte yung nasa 15 to 19 na age kasi pasok ka either way. Pwede ka sumali sa children, pwede ka sa... But my point is, yun nga sinabi kanina ni Presidente, di ba, doon sa kanyang message sa atin. We are such a substantial number, a critical number of people in this country who can really change the world. One out of 3 are young people and 1 out of 3 are poor. Don't you think that could be us? But if you ask other Filipinos, they would say 1 out of 2 Filipinos are poor. The Social Weather Stations has consistently asked people, what is your assessment? Are you poor? So they said, yeah, I'm poor. Whatever poor means. And for them, poor meant not being able to eat. And so these are the data. I can give you all of these numbers and it will all look the same. It looks good for others, it looks bad. But my point is, a substantial number of Filipinos are young people, and a substantial, the same amount of people are counted as poor. And these same number of people are getting married early. 50 years ago, it would not have been unthinkable for Professor Briones' generation to be married at 15 or 16 or 17. But times have changed, di ba? Now women have more opportunities. The women's movement brought about change. The Industrial Revolution brought about change. Women went out of the houses, of their homes, and decided that we can be super women. We can take care of our family, we can raise our children, help our parents, and bring in some money. We decided that, and as women, we went out. So if you look at it, yeah, substantially, young teenage wives reduced in the Philippines. However, the same mothers that Sir Tony was talking about increased. They're not married because the Constitution says that you cannot get married if you are below 18. They're not married, but they're having babies. And it is rising dramatically. That's why when I asked how many of you have kids now, if I ask each one of you, you know someone who is below 20 who has a child, right? And the scary thing is, they produce the most number of babies. So that's why when I said that 10 to 19 years old is the stage of spurts. Spurt ka ng spurt! Hindi na tumigil sa kakaspurt. Diba? So they had their first baby. Which before, this is from the National Statistics Office, dati, konti lang yung mga under 15, saka 15 to 19 na nanganganak. 1 out of 5. Mahilig kasi ako sa numbers para makita nyo. Dati, isa sa kada 5 nagbubuntis, unang pagbubuntis ay bata. 10 to 19 age group natin. I-assume natin na kasama kami. Kasama tayo dyan, di ba? Kasama dyan tayo, Tita Liding. Pagdating ng 2010, walastik ko. 1 out of 4. Di ba? In 10 years span of time, what happened? Why did they suddenly boom? Boom na boom talaga. Kasi, hindi lang sila unang dalawang beses ng anak. They had their second babies in 2010. They had their third babies. In Fabella, a hospital in Manila where the poorest Filipinos go to, there was a 15-year-old who had her third baby just recently. Imagine you're 15 and you have 3 babies. I have 1 and it's so hard. I'm done with school. Diba? There's a young woman who told me she had her first baby at age 17, 18. So pag iisipin mo, medyo matanda na yan, no? Kung 12 anyos, nagbubuntis ka na, di ba? Old maid. After her first baby, you know, she's lived in Bagong Silang, the same area where Sir Tony started the whole revolution. And magkaising edad yung anak namin, 2004. So, itong si Dory, she's very proud of her story because she really could say, Ate Ma, ito talaga yung pinaka-sign ng how unfair the system is to young people. Sabi niya gano'n, nabuntis na siya, 17. Pinaalis siya sa school. Public school, ha? Di na siya pinapasok. So yung asawa niya, nag-aaral pa, so nagtapos. Tapos siya, pinaalis. Di pag-alis niya, gusto niya, after first pregnancy, Ate May, ayoko na. So sabi ko, sige, tutulungan kitang bumalik sa school. So kinausap namin yung school, nag-complain kami kasi bawal magpaalis ng estudyante dahil buntis ka. Buntis ka na nga Ang bata, hindi ka ba makakatapos? Ano na yan, di ba? So di, nakabalik na siya. Parang feeling ko, okay na to. Kasi parang nag-usap na kami, hindi na siya magbubuntis daw, ganyan. After 2 years, bumalik sa akin. Graduate na siya, Kasi ang usapan namin, hanggang nag-aaral ka, tutulungan kitang makagraduate, hindi ka pwede na mag-anak. Tinapos naman niya. Pagkatapos niya, nabuntis siya ulit. Balik siya sa akin, Ate May, gusto ko na magpalaygate. Kasi she was only 17, 21 siya, nabuntis siya ulit, per 2020, parang nabuntis siya ulit ng 20. Sabi niya, Ate May, meron palang polisiya na kapag below 23 ka, bawal kang magpalaygate. Kahit na 10 na yung anak mo, 20 ka pa lang. Ay, tawa kayo 2005, when I did that video, syempre, burgis-burgis pa ako. Poverty, yeah, I'm all for the poor. From the university, I will live with the poor. Ganyan. I never really imagined poverty. Nagrarally ako, nag-field work ako, lahat ginagawa ko. I was a psychology major. Tapos nun, pagpunta ko dun sa community nga, sa North Triangle, na gagawin ng business district, first time ko makakilala, I was 24. I had my first baby at 24. I was done with school. But it was so hard. I keep on saying it, 24, that is so hard! Just so it sinks in. I met this woman, she was 24, my age. You know how many kids she had? 12. And then sabi niya sa akin, May, okay lang yan. 2 naman namatay. So 10 na lang. But you know how many kids she had with her at that time? Kasi nag-photo exhibit kami. She only had 3 of her 10 live kids. Because the other 7, she gave away. No, she had to give away. Because she couldn't fend for them. I mean, she was... Hindi ko ma-describe na kasing payat ko yung kapal ng mukha ko nun, di ba? But she was so tiny, I could not imagine how she gave birth to 12 kids and survived. It survived. Because I asked her, ilan taon ka una nabuntis? 13. So, ibig sabihin na span of 1 year, ang pagbubuntis kasi, it's 10 months yan, 40 weeks. 40 weeks yan. Pero pwede ka nang manganak ng 36 weeks. Lesson yan, ha? So, 36 weeks, hindi pa natatapos. Kakapalabas pa lang yan ng anak dahil nabuntis na siya ulit. That's the story of most young people. And this is what Dory was telling me. Ate May, gusto ko nang tumigil, hindi ako matigil, alam naman nila eh. So, nung isang beses, tinigil na dati nagkaroon ng parang libreng IUD dun sa mga women sa Bagong Silang. Naglabas ng policy yung national government na wala nang i-release na hindi na pwedeng maka-access yung mga bata. Dahil pagkalabas after 8 months, lahat sila nagnanganakan. Sunod-sunod sabi niya, Ate May, that was the first time, sabay-sabay kaming nabuntis. So totoo yung sinasabi ni Sir Tony, libog, malilibog tayo, and it's true. And it's not a bad thing because it's natural. Ang libog ay parte, ang mali dyan, yung irresponsableng kalibugan, lintik na. Ang punto ko lang, huwag naman tayo magplastikan. Dumaan nga lang yung crush natin, gumagano na tayo, di ba? Ang punto ko dito, bawat isa sa atin, ako, pagkatapos ko nung isa, ayoko na. Pero hindi ko sinasabing hindi ako malibog. Yun yung sinasabi sa Ate May. Ganun na siya, oh. Sabi ko, so ano Dory, yung plano mo? Just so you know, nakakapanganak na ulit pala niya nung July. She had her 3rd grade. Tapos sabi ko, pagtingin ko talaga sa kanya, hindi ako makasalita, bro. I was providing, ito nga yung sinasabi ko, I was helping her, I was there, I was talking to her, it didn't work. Kasi pala, parang ang dami palang layers ng disempowerment niya. Kahit nabigyan ko siya, kasi sabi niya, Ate May, pagpapasok pa lang ako sa health center, yung health worker, parang, landi kasi nito eh. Kahit hindi ka ba, ilan sa inyo dito, babae o lalaki, na pumunta sa doktor para sabihin, Sir, Doc, I want to learn more about how to protect myself from HIV and AIDS and STIs. And I don't want to get my girlfriend or some other girl that I'm hanging out with pregnant. Di ba, hang out na lang yan, pag-ibi-ibi na lang yan eh. How many of you have gone to a doctor? Gone to any health professional or any healthcare provider to ask for this information? Why? Kasi papasok ka pa lang, nandun pa lang yung pinto, alam mo na nang hinuhusgahan ka na eh. Diba? Alam mo na eh. Tinitingnan ka lang mula sa ulo hanggang paa, lalo na pag babae. Titingnan ka, tas alam mo na, nararamdaman mo na dito, ang sama mong babae, ang tawag nila doon, di ba, malikot, ay maharot. Maharot ka, malikot, malandi, lahat na ng M na pwede mong mag-isip. Malibog, lahat na ng pwede mong M. Mahilig kang sumombag, mahilig kang... Diba, ang point ko, paano ka pupunta? Hindi ka kasali. Hindi ka nila tinatanggap. So, nabuntis siya ulit. Sabi niya ganyan, Ate May, 3 na naman anak ko eh. Kasi maliban sa dapat 23 ka, eh wala pa siyang 23. 22 pa lang siya. Pag 3 na pala yung anak mo, either you're 23 or you have 3 kids, then they can ligate you. So sabi niya ganun, medyo expensive lang yung pag-antay ko bago nila ako bigyan ng serbisyo. Kasi 3 bata yung lalabas ko. And they both, interestingly, both of them don't have jobs. And it's also a very interesting scenario that this is not the story of Dory, but I think for some of us, it's also a story of violence. A lot of the 15 to 19-year-olds who got pregnant also figured out in a sexual violence encounter. And these are the documented ones. Ilan ba sa inyo magsasabi na may nangyari sa inyo masama? I don't think all of us will say. Dory was very lucky because she survived. Can you just imagine yung 24-year-old that I was talking about? I had very big hips. Parang 10 pa lang ako, sabi nila, childbearing hips, hindi ko pa naiintindihan yung sabihin doon. May, you have childbearing hips. Sabi ko, mataba lang po ako. Pero apparently, the reason why you only should have babies at a certain age, because your body, even if you have menstruation at 8, is not capable to produce and to release. Ilalabas mo yung bata. Do you realize that? Sino nagko-constipation? Sino yung nagko-constipation? Sino nagda-diarrhea dito? Diba lahat tayo? Kikombine mo yan ang childbirth. Constipation, ayaw lumabas. Diarrhea, labas ng labas. Ganon ang childbirth. It's a very interesting experience. But if you plan it, you can handle it. But my point is, isipin mo nagko-constipate siya, tapos nag-diarrhea siya, tapos 14 siya. Tapos yung katawan niya, ganyan lang. And she barely has boobs. O sabihin natin may boobs siya. So picture in your head, paano mo iiri yun? Iiri mo yun, hindi. Ako, yun lang yung point ko. Kaya nga, ngayon, we have 12 women who die each day because of pregnancy and childbirth complications. And you know, my theory is, right now, it's around 1 out of 5, 1 out of 4 of them are adolescents. Kaya ako hindi sigurado sa number kasi hindi kasama sa bilang yung adolescents eh. Ang reproductive age group ay binibilang lang from 15 to 49. Eh pag 14 ka unang lumandi, yun ang tawag nila, di ba? Hindi ka kasali. So, at kapag halimbawa, ngayon, 6 out of 10 pregnancy births happen at home, hindi ka pupunta sa center, hindi ka pupunta sa hospital para manganak. Karamihan dito ay nanganganak sa bahay, sa mga area, kagaya ng mga pinupuntahan ng Gawad Kalinga. So, ang daming namamatay. Now, we are talking about 20%. So, 1 out of 5 are adolescents. Can you just imagine you're dying? Pero ang theory ko dyan, di ba yung pinakita kong slide kanina, 15 pa lang, pwede na silang magkaroon ng ilang anak? 3. So pag dumating na sila ng 24, tapos sila yung kasama dun sa sinasabi kong above 20 na nagkaroon ng mga 6, 7, 8, 9 na anak, si adolescent pa rin sila, bata pa rin sila nung nagsimula sila. So yun pa rin yung dahilan, maagang pagbubuntis. Ang balas dito kasi, yung namamatay dito, bata at saka nanay. So pag nabuntis ka, mapayat ka. Eh, ang liit-liit mo nga, di ba? Tapos maglalabas ka ng bata. Kaya nga, di ba sinasabi nila, you are eating for 2. Kasi kung ano yung kinakain mo, eh paano kung wala kang kinakain? Paano ka maglalabas ng bata na malusog, na malakas, na may kapasidad na mangarap? So namamatay din. 2 birds in 1 stone. Di ba? Magbuntis ka ng batang ina, 2 bata yung mamamatay. I say this in this manner because it's so insulting because these deaths can be prevented. Ito yung sinasabi kanina ni Sir Tony. 1 out of 3 are young people. 1 out of 3 are poor. It can even be more. It depends on how you define poverty. And I say poverty, it's when you cannot finish school. Right now, we only have around 6 of the 7 people, 7 of you who went to high school, of the 10 of you who went to high school, 7 lang sa inyong nakagraduate. Dun sa 7 na yun, hindi pa lahat magka-college. Ilan sa mga kaklase nyo, mula high school, nag-graduate, na tumuloy ng college? Mabibilang mo lang. Yan yung estado ng kabataan ngayon. Dun sa 10 na papasok ng college, 6 lang doon ang magtatapos. Kasi matatanggal ka dahil hindi mo na kayang bayaran ng pag-aaral mo. Worse, nakagraduate ka nga, isa ka sa 6 na nakagraduate ng college. Anong trabaho mo? Ano ang mga trabaho na ino-offer ngayon sa Visayas? Call center. Nag-aral ka ng 4 na taon sa kolehiyo, pinag-aral ka ng nanay mo na maging nurse, kasi yun yung gusto mo maging, nurse. Pero anong gagawin mo? Magta-transcribe ka ng medical transcripts. Tama, mali. Pero ang laki ng kita, di ba? Ang laki talaga ng kita. Pero yun ang nangyayari sa'yo. So yung capacity mo, ang tawag doon ay underemployment. Ikaw, doon sa capacity mo, vis-a-vis sa trabaho mo. You are underemployed. Pero at least may trabaho ka. Di ba sabi, okay lang po to, may trabaho kasi nag-iipon ako ng pera para pang-migrate. May trabaho ka, ipon ka ng pera, kahit hindi mo gusto yung trabaho mo, kahit iniinsulto ka na, sa call center, bawal kang sumigaw back. Do you know that? Minumura ka na ng kausap mo sa telepono, ang sasabihin, yes sir. Yes sir. Umiiyak ka na. Pero hindi ka pwedeng umiyak kasi lalabas sa boses mo eh. Do you know what it's called in psychology? Who are the psych students here? There's a dissonance, di ba? It's a dissonance with how you're feeling and what you're acting. It's a bit schizophrenic for me. Kasi gusto mong umiyak, kasi sinasaktan ka na, iniinsulto ka na, pero ganito, hindi ka pwedeng umiyak, hindi ka pwedeng magmura, hindi ka pwedeng magsalita ng kahit na ano, kasi may script na kailangan ka i-follow, tama? Yung script na yun, pag nag-deviate ka dyan, pwede kang matanggal sa trabaho. At hindi ka aalis sa trabaho at hindi mo gagawin yun kasi yung pamilya mo, umaasa sa'yo. Maswerte yung sa atin na walang umaasa. Pero karamihan sa atin, meron kang kapatid na kailangan ipaaral pa. So nagtrabaho ka na, nakaipon ka na. Yung sunod na mangyayari, do you know that 50% of our OFWs are your age? Do you know that? 50% of the OFWs are your age and majority of them are women. Can you just imagine what kind of jobs they have? Do you know that these people are college graduates? And they are leaving the country because, like Sir Tony said, I respect the decision for some families to raise their children, to work abroad, but do you know how hard it is to live in a country where policies don't protect you? Can you just imagine? Kung dito nga, you already feel scared that the police do not protect you. Can you just imagine you live in a country like, say, Saudi Arabia or even the States, where migrant laws are not that friendly? Malaysia, malapit lang yan. Sabah is just a boat ride away from Mindanao. But do you know how cruel they are to migrants? Maswerte ka kung ikaw ay accounted migrant. Maswerte ka kung maayos yung trabaho mo. But more often than not, the story for these young people is a story of running away, protecting their lives, trying to save whatever amount of money they have to send back home. And so they are faced with violence, both here and abroad. So that is the kind of situation that they had. Worse, when you talk about young people and their issues, do you ever mention about health? Never. Because you don't matter. Because when you talk about young people, you're the hope of our nation. Yeah, we're the hope of our nation. But we will not take care of you because if you look at the policies and the framework of most governments, young people are not part of that. Babakunahan ka from 0 to 5, tapos nun bahala ka na. The next part of the health program is when you get pregnant. Kaya ginawa nilang 15 to 49 ang reproductive age for women. For men, it's 15 to 56. So, I'm so sorry for being that scary or boring. But these numbers really excite me because it just says what my point is when I was your age. We don't matter. Because they think about us as part of the labor force, but they don't care what kind of work we do. They don't care if we are well, if we get enough sleep. Kaya nga they push us to health call centers eh. Kahit hindi ka na natutulog, do you know what sleep deprivation does to you? The psych majors, what does sleep deprivation do to you? It causes us to think slowly. It causes our body, our immune system to slow down. So when you talk about health, it's not part of the issues of young people, and it becomes intergenerational because the children bear children themselves. So pag si nanay, nabuntis siya ng 12, pagdating niya ng 36, yung anak niya ay dalaga na din. So it becomes a cycle. So where the poor women are, that's where the worst case of inequality happen. Yun yung sinasabi ni Sir Tony. At dun din yung pinaka-least na nakakapagsalita sila. In 2011, an 11-year-old girl was said to have given birth in a town in Capiz, not far from here. Right? Capiz is just very near. And then a couple of months after, there was another child in Mindanao. These are the ones whose stories get published. And there are children who are bearing children. So the numbers are getting younger. So why should it matter to you? You're not pregnant, you're not poor, you're in school, you're leaders. Why should it matter to you? Meron pa siyang tuloy. It comes from, you can view it at YouTube, but basically, I think you get the story, right? But if you do the intervention, and start with the concept of responsibility over one's body, and teach them how to speak their minds, and give them sources so that they can assert their empowerment and their independence, then they can negotiate the sources of influence. They can negotiate their families, their communities. They can demand from the Sangguniang Kabataan to actually do something and not just build basketball courts and do beauty pageants for gay people and whatnot. And then they can change how people think of women, of young people, of young men. And I say the Sangguniang Kabataan because that's your terrain. As people from the 15 to 30 years old, as ates and kuyas and mentors to our Sangguniang Kabataan, they have a lot of money to create an impact to those below 15. Because if you want to make a difference, Sir Tony was talking about him at 62, changing the lives of people who are younger than him. Guess what? You can change the lives of those younger than you. And if you mentor, talk to just one kid about how she or he needs to be responsible, take accountability over their bodies. For both girls and boys alike, because boys now play sungka with women. And that's true, right? And girls have lost also that sense of self-respect in the process. Both girls and boys have lost it, and I would like to tell you that yeah, the more things change, the more they stay the same, but guess what? I have a 9-year-old, and I'm hoping that when she turns 12 and she gets her menstruation, she wouldn't get pregnant at an age even younger than I did. And I would like also my cousins to plan first before starting a family. And oo, malibog tayo. And I tell my daughter that it's okay to be kilig when your crush JC is in the room. It's normal. But know also that there are limits. And you should know your limitations. And know also that if anything happens to you, my father told me when I was 16 and I didn't know what to do, anak, you can blame me and your mom for everything that we did wrong in your life, but guess what? We will die. And when we die, you cannot blame us anymore. You only have yourself to blame. So I hope there's not going to be any blaming that will happen, and we can just all be celebrating the power of young people for generations to come. Magandang hapon po.